Two Eyes. Hi guys, how are you? This is Mike, and today we're going to compare the ELECTRO HARMONIX Pitch Fork, which is an older pedal. Believe it or not, this was released 10 years ago in 2014, against the ELECTRO HARMONIX Pico Pitch Fork, which is pretty new. It came out in 2023. So what are the differences between those two pedals, beside the obvious, the form factor, the size, and the control layout? So first of all, the old one can be powered by a battery. The new one cannot. If that is important to you, I guess it's good to know. Then the old one has an expression pedal input, and you can use an expression pedal in different ways. Either to set the speed of the sweep from 4 milliseconds to 2 whole seconds, or you can use an expression pedal to control the pitch shift amount. Having said that, the new pedal has a dedicated sweep control, where you can set the rate of the sweep from 0 up to 4 whole seconds, so double the time of the old pitchfork basically. Also, the new pedal has a dedicated volume control, which controls the volume of the signal, but only when the pedal is engaged, so you cannot use it as a clean boost or something. Furthermore, the old pedal had a digital bypass only, whereas the new pedal actually gives you the option between 3 different types of bypass: digital, analog, and a hybrid form, where the pedal starts with a digital bypass if you turn it on, but changes to analog when there is a small pause in your playing. And that's basically it when it comes to differences. As mentioned before, the rest of the differences are superficial, so basically how these pedals look and how you operate them and what the knobs do. But now that we got that out of the way, let's actually focus on what's important: the sound. So I want to go through a couple of settings, and let's start with one setting that I really like on the old pitchfork, the Detune setting, right? And so first you will hear my clean guitar sound, then the Detune setting on the old pitchfork, and then on the new one. Here we go. Right, so you can actually hear in this first sample, there are a couple of differences when it comes to the sound. If you're using headphones, you will hear them even more. So I think the old pitchfork is actually noisier. There's more noise there than on the new one. But also, there we have definitely more highs. I feel that this pedal boosts your highs a little bit, which makes for this very lively sound, whereas the new pitchfork sounds a little bit more subtle, I would say. So let's actually play a little bit around with the volume and blend control, and let's try to make this pedal sound like the old one, because I think in this setting the old one sounds a little bit, well, better basically. Turn the blend a little bit more up and the volume as well. Yeah, so interesting, but I still feel, even with the blend at 3 o'clock, I still kind of feel that the old pedal sounds better in this instance, simply because it has this watery chorus-like quality. I'm not saying that the new pitchfork sounds bad, but I still feel that the new pitchfork sounds a little bit better. Yeah, okay, you know what? Let's go to the next setting, single notes that are higher pitched, right? So we have to turn this toggle to up. So I set the blend all the way up, of course. I have now a whole note of a difference that is higher pitched. So this is the clean signal, basically. even higher. Interesting. So I actually feel that the tracking on the old Pitch Fork seems to be a little bit better, a little bit cleaner. The latency, so the difference between when you hit the string and when you actually hear the note, the processed note, is a tiny little bit better on the new one, which would make sense because I guess it has a newer chip built in and it's faster. Let's go even higher. So now we are at 1 octave above. Yeah, interesting. I still feel that the old Pitch Fork has better tracking. It simply plays back the notes cleaner, the processed notes, basically. There's something going on the new Pitch Fork, but the latency is better. Also, the sound doesn't seem to be as punchy as on the old one. Interesting. Let's do the same thing with the lower octave now, basically. Interesting. Also, there seems to be a little bit of a volume difference. So let's turn this to 1 o'clock or something. Interesting. That's kind of strange. I didn't expect that. I thought that this would be a clean upgrade over this one. But yeah, I still like the sound on all of these samples up until now. I like it more on the old Pitch Fork. Didn't expect that. Let's try, because we are on 1 octave below now, let's try the dual mode on both. So this has to be orange here. So now we are going to hear 1 octave above and below at the same time. It's pretty loud, actually, a little bit too loud. Yeah, so the volume control comes pretty handy, right, on the new one. That's cool. Yeah, what else? Let's put the blended 50% so we can actually hear the clean signal as well. Ooh, so I feel that the old Pitchfork has a little bit of that synthetic organ kind of like sound going on, while the new one doesn't sound like that, but it actually starts to distort your signal a little bit when there's a lot of processing going on. Again, that's not something that I expected actually, but yeah, there you have it. This is 2 octaves, both above and below. Let's try this with chords. Interesting. I mean, to be honest, in all of these samples, up until now, I would still prefer the old Pitchfork. And yeah, I didn't expect that at all. I think the new one sounds a little bit too harsh, actually. Yeah, again, I didn't expect that. Let's try one of those jazzy chords. Let's see what happens. Yeah, again, I mean, the volume control comes in pretty handy. That I like, but yeah, again, preferring this sound to this one, right? Okay, so for the last sound sample, let's actually try to use an expression pedal with the old ELECTRO HARMONIX, because now we're testing out the sweep function, the glissando function, or the rate of it, basically, right? So in theory, if I set this up now, this is my very cheap expression pedal. I don't know if you can see it here. I should be able to control the rate of the sweep, right? Let's see how that works on the new, on the old pedal. Yeah, so I have it all the way down now, the pedal, on the heel position basically, and as you can hear, this should be 2 seconds of a sweep, right? So let's try to find a middle ground that sounds nice. Okay, let's try to do the same thing on the new pedal here. And as mentioned before in the intro, it goes up to 4 seconds, so that's pretty much, right? Let's set the blend to 50% so we can still hear the clean signal. The 4 seconds is actually a long time, so let's put it to 2 seconds. That's the longest that you can go on the old Pitch Fork. I think even that is too long. Maybe if you want to do like special effects with these pedals. But yeah, guys, that was basically it. I think we heard enough. If you want to know my opinion, I'm going to stick with the old Pitch Fork simply because it does everything that I want. I like that we have a latch button here. I especially like the sound more. I feel, you know, the latency, when it comes to the latency, this new pedal might be a tiny little bit faster, a tiny little bit, but it's really not night and day, and it's definitely not something that will hinder you in your playing, basically, right? And yeah, I also like that we have the controls or the intervals written down here, whereas here I basically have to guess where it is, where we are now. Right? And yeah, I mean, the most important thing about all guitar pedals is the sound they produce. And I have to say, I simply like the sound of the old Pitch Fork more. Yes, it is a little bit more noisy, that I will admit, but it just sounds more lively to me and yeah, just nicer and more pleasant to the ears, basically. Right, guys, let me know what you think about the new Pitch Fork Pico, if you like it more than the old one. Let me know what you thought of this video. I hope it was of use to you. And yeah, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and like this video if you liked it. See you next time. Bye.